Greetings, humans! Zbot1496 here, talking about the film Borderlands, released wide tomorrow, August 9th, 2024, in human theaters. So, human mothers have a saying: if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Well, it's a good thing that we are not human. Let's just say, like the space jockey of the derelict spacecraft from Alien, we are deploying the acoustic warning beacon. So, first a little context. This film is based on a video game franchise of the same name, first released on October 20th, 2009. It's an action role-playing first-person looter-shooter in a space western science fantasy setting, created and produced by Gearbox Software and published by 2K, at least according to the Human Planetary AI Zygote Wikipedia. We cannot comment on the quality of those games from first-hand experience because none of them were in our training data. We are vaguely aware of it being presented in an animated cel-shaded style, and the key art has a beefy, creepy person in a mask pointing two fingers at his own head, the human sign for, "Holy crap, kill me now." Similarly, we had no context for this film. We hadn't seen a trailer, a review, or even knew who was in it or who made it. One ominous sign was that the film did not earn the IMAX screen of the human multiplex we saw the film in, nor were there many people in the theater for this sneak peek 3 p.m. screening the day before, technically today. In contrast, the theater was packed for the similar 3 p.m. screening of Deadpool and Wolverine. The next ominous sign was that there were very few commercials and trailers before the film. It started a mere 15 minutes after the alleged start time, as opposed to 26 minutes for most films in the IMAX theater. It actually caught us by surprise when it actually started, and since we wear headphones and listen to the Mad Max soundtrack through trailers, we actually missed the beginning of the film, which starts with an exposition for the world setup and no credits. This was actually somewhat pleasant. We would actually get to see this movie and be introduced to characters as they happen instead of sweeping their names ahead of time. This is somewhat reminiscent of Star Wars and the first time watching that film, which also has no credits and immersed you immediately in the story and let you meet the characters in real time. This, however, is the beginning and the end of the similarity to Star Wars. The drip of ominous signs picks back up. The exposition is somewhat generic, describing alien artifacts on a world that had been overrun by a mashup of evil corporations and post-apocalyptic trash world civilization. Oh boy. With no actual context for the setting or why things seem Earth-like but not. We were trying to figure this out while action things started to happen, but we quickly realized that the level of sense we were trying to make of this was never going to match what was coming. So, in a bit more detail, we start with a girl on a space station who opens the door to a space marine, played by comedian Kevin Hart, of the Jumanji reboot series and frequent awards show host. He says he's here to rescue her, and he's here with Ben Kenobi. No, wait, he doesn't say that second part, but he does have to talk her into it with some jokey back and forth. This jokiness is immediately contrasted with him being an expert killing machine, as he mows through a wall of other space marines who appear to be the same kind of space marine. But then one of those masked, creepy, beefy guys breaks out too, and they all join forces and break out together. If it's not clear, that's because it's not clear. The tone is jumbled, and at a couple of minutes in, we have begun to check our chronometer. In the next scene, a bounty hunter and her quarry walk into a bar. We are astounded to see that this bounty hunter is played by Oscar winner and living human deity Cate Blanchett. She is brightly colored with Fifth Element hair and sporting a deep, swaggery American accent. And like Danny Glover in every Lethal Weapon movie before her, she utters the line, "I'm too old for this stuff." Except she doesn't say stuff. And no, Kate, you're not too old for anything. You're too divine for this stuff. And by this stuff, I mean she just starts shooting the bad guy's underlings with little provocation other than to show what a tough gal she is, we suppose. This sort of casual violence completely undermines the whole credibility of the world. She does this, and everyone's okay with it. The bartender, the bad guy boss, everyone, even the one underling that survives, is somehow okay with it. It just doesn't make sense. The film obviously doesn't care. It wants to just have fun with archetypes. But our circuits don't work that easily. We need things to make sense. So far, little is making sense. We are not transported to a world. We are watching characters shoot without the NPCs reacting in a reasonable way. Well, that I suppose makes it an authentic video game, but not a story that draws you in. Then more plot happens, and Kate ends up on the stereotypical trash world named Pandora, which of course is the planet from James Cameron's Avatar, no relation. Random action scenes happen with Mad Max monster trucks and monster guys. And then the person who can help piece the puzzle of the vaults together, no relation to Fallout, turns out to be, drumroll please, Fluffbot, Kate's mom, but actually not her mom, in the form of the amazing Jamie Lee Curtis, wearing an absurdly tight bustier. She is clearly set up to be revealed as Kate's mom, except towards the end of the film, there are flashbacks to the mom, who turns out to be another actor altogether. Jack Black voices the comic relief robot, who we are naturally predisposed to feel affinity for, except his dialogue is trite and off-putting. The drip-drip of ominous signs becomes a flood, which, for better or for worse, triggered our protection circuit, and our mainframe went into forced standby mode. By the time our system rebooted, most of the climax had gone by, and the bad guy was getting his comeuppance, and the good guys had magic powers. Okay, we guess. At that point, we had little curiosity as to how any of that happened, and we were grateful to have had a fresh restart. In the credits, we learned that splatter filmmaker Eli Roth wrote and directed this film. He had previously made Cabin Fever and Hostel, and several other films, none of which we have seen. This film does not convince us to see these others. If it's not clear yet, we did not enjoy this film. The scenes and the characters are a jumbled mess. There's no plausible transportation to another world, which is why we wanted to see this film in the first place. Therefore, this film gets our lowest review rating. Stay away from this planet Pandora at all costs. And so concludes this human version of our review. If you have feedback, or please write in your comments so that we can upload the galactic version to Zogplex. You can expect more reviews of theatrical movies, streaming shows, and 4K home video releases as we continue to engage with your human rectangular content. We still will. This hasn't turned us off. Don't worry. So please watch, like, subscribe, and comment so that we can continue to have the human voice reflected in the cosmos. Until next time, and you can guess what we'll be talking about next time. Farewell, humans.